welcome back to Missing 411 Examined. I've got a shorter video for you today, as I have not been very well lately, which is why I haven't put out a video in a long time. While I'm feeling much better now, as I'm sure you can hear, my voice still isn't quite what it was, and you may hear an occasional weird cut where I've had to cut out a bunch of coughing. If you'll just bear with me, I wanted to get something out for you guys. So here we are. I hope you enjoy. Today we are looking at Wayne David Powell. Wayne David Powell, who was 39 years old at the time, went missing on June 18th, 1994 from Bushy Butte Mountain, Oregon. He was a hunter and enjoyed the outdoors. Not much is known about his disappearance, but his F-250 pickup was found near Dixonville at an elevation of 2,600 feet. And that's it. That's all we have. I know I keep saying this in a number of these videos, but how is it that Paulides can determine that this case fits his criteria when he doesn't know anything about it? Well, let's see what we can find and see if it does fit the criteria or not. This is one of the many cases that I submitted my own Freedom of Information Act request. However, unlike the majority of them, I actually got something useful back. Here's what I can add by utilizing those documents. Wayne had a history of marital problems, reporting to one of his longtime friends. The issues were severe enough that Wayne had mentioned on more than one occasion that he thought about suicide. Particularly, he told his friend that he was contemplating going into the woods and ending it all. On the morning of his disappearance, around 10 a.m., he and his wife had an argument. It's not mentioned what the argument was about, but the result was Wayne getting into his truck and driving away. This is the last time that he was seen. The following day, Wayne's daughter contacted the sheriff to report that he was missing. She indicated that Wayne had never just driven off before and had been missing for an extended period. She also reported that her father had a medical condition, which prompted investigators to mark his case as endangered missing. From the reports, it seems like it's possible that Wayne's wife also reported Wayne missing on the 19th. The day after that, on the 20th, authorities called Wayne's wife, Jenny. They asked for photos of Wayne and updates if she had heard anything. She had not. Later on the 20th, Wayne's brother called in to report that he had found Wayne's truck near Deer Creek in Bushy Butte. This launched a search and rescue effort that lasted 3 days. The search involved more than 220 man-hours, more than 600 miles covered in vehicles, and 30 minutes of flight time. On July 9th, authorities again contacted Jenny. She informed them that she had been in contact with a tea leaf reader who said that Wayne was under some brush between two trees. The authorities advised Jenny that a lawyer may be a more appropriate person to talk to, and she agreed and stated that she had prepared herself and her family for Wayne to never return. Later in July, Jenny reports that she is concerned about her financial stability. Wayne had a trucking business that Jenny was now attempting to run, but she was concerned that she would lose both the business and her house. She says at this point that she is sure that Wayne is either dead in the woods or is hiding in Washington under an assumed name. Around the same time, we also hear from Wayne's parents. They informed authorities that they had been over for dinner at Wayne and Jenny's residence, and felt that, looking back, Wayne had used this time to say goodbye to them. They remarked that Wayne is not usually emotional, but at the end of dinner, he shook his father's hand, kissed his mother's cheek, and said goodbye. His mother said that she now interprets this as a final goodbye. The plot thickens later that year. In December of 1994, Jenny calls the police to give them an update. She informed them that she was losing the company and losing the house due to no money coming in. She said that she was certain that Wayne was still alive and was watching the house from nearby. She specifically mentioned a trail that went up behind her house and up a hill. She said that Wayne was there at the top of the hill, waiting for Jenny to lose it all and leave. The next year, in March of 1995, Jenny was in the process of packing things up from the house. When she returned to her bedroom to pack, where she had not been in quite some time due to the process of moving out, she discovered that a box of ammunition was in her bed. She was certain that Wayne had left it there to harass her. In July of 1995, Wayne's father, Clifford, took his own life with a gun. Wayne did not show up for the funeral service. Wayne's mother, Ethel, has been in contact with police frequently throughout this time. Whenever an unidentified body is discovered, she calls in to see if it was Wayne. The last update from the 90s that we see is detective notes that they are not sure if Wayne is alive and in hiding or if he perished on Brushy Butte. There's one more update, this one from 2011, that summarizes the case and goes on to describe the DNA collection from Wayne's daughter. She appeared happy to be contacted about the case and provided a DNA sample to the sheriff. Just one more tidbit of information about this case. The Charlie Project notes that Wayne's wallet, keys, and wedding ring were among the belongings that were found inside of Wayne's truck. So we have gone from this to this. I want to talk briefly about something that I saw on Reddit. There was a user asking what cases were still mysterious even after a review. They acknowledged that Pilates wasn't always the most diligent when it came to research. I think that question is difficult to answer because it's hard to know what mysterious means to an individual. To me, mysterious would be if we didn't have the clues that we do to make a good inference on what happened, while still having a lot of information. For example, the original 2 lines that we had, the original 2 pieces, where there's a guy, he went missing, his truck was found at this elevation, that's not particularly mysterious to me. There's not enough information to go on to be mysterious. It's not the same thing when you just don't know about a case. But now that we have all this information that we do have, can we say definitively what happened? Well, no. Is it possible that Wayne went off and is in hiding somewhere? Yeah, I suppose it is. But given the evidence, can we make an educated guess that is supported by that evidence and makes a lot of sense in general? Yes, I believe we can. Looking at this case in particular, I think it's pretty obvious what happened. You can agree or disagree, and that's fine. Just something that I wanted to address after reading about the request for mysterious cases. And one last thing before we go, I also wanted to mention that while I also subscribe to a number of true crime things, and I enjoy listening to unsolved cases and things like that, it's important to keep in mind that Wayne is a real person. He really did go missing, one way or another. He had problems. He had a lot on his shoulders. And is there a lot of things about his case that makes it interesting to listen to? I certainly think so. I think this is one of the most interesting cases just because of all of the twists and turns from the reports that we get. But I do ask you to please remember that Wayne is real. His daughter really does miss him quite a lot and has a lot of questions about what happened to her dad. So just keep that in mind as you go down to the comment section below. Thank you for listening. On a less somber note, I would like to thank my patrons. Thank you for sticking with me throughout this period of silence and sickness. I really do appreciate it. In particular, I would like to thank the members of the public recognition tier. One user who still wishes to remain anonymous. Let me know if you change your mind, but you know who you are. Thank you. as well as Nigel B. Probably seen him in the comments below. Thank you, Nigel. That's all for now. Until next time, take care.